Hello, Jasmine. Another concept that you'll need to conquer in your pins is the concept of three dimension. In other words, you can take a flat object like this. Remember this? It's pretty flat, and you just make a cross. This looks really nice, actually. It's a very nice thing. So some items work really, really well. This is an item I'm working on right now for somebody. It's a flat item, and it works out well. Crosses seem to work out well. But some things you need to make look like real life, okay? So this is an example. This is a pin that somebody made, probably not a lot older than you, 3 years. And they made this pin. This is what they baked. They made it out of clay. And you can see how it looks. It looks, how it's three-dimensional. See how it comes out there? It's made to look like a whatever it is. And that's a really well thought out pin. Very simple to make. Someone this girl thought it out very, very well. She transitioned from simply a cutout shape, which is what you see on pages, and when you draw, you're drawing the shape. Then you're shading it in and everything. Well, instead of shading it in, you have to think about what the face looks like. You cannot have it too thick. Like, let me show you one that was too thick. Okay, this one that she made was too thick. Okay, see how thick it is? That's really, really thick. You can get the same effect by making it thinner, because this is the same effect as this is. Okay, but this is a lot thinner, So you can get that same effect by making it thin. Now this is a pin of that one. Isn't that just the sharpest little pin you ever did see? And this is a nice pin. I put the pin back on it. And I do that. You don't do that. I can make the pin back on it. This would also make a pretty good little necklace too, I think. And then this other one, let's see what I do with it. I went ahead and made it, trying to figure out some way to do with it, but it's just too thick. It's too heavy. I had to carve out a lot in the back just to lighten it up. And even though it's really, really nice, I would have to carve out quite a bit more to make it something I can really use. I haven't figured out quite what to do with this pen. It just gets too heavy. And you have things like this. These are little flowers. You remember how I made those flowers? Well, this is something similar. They take a little star, they cut out little stars or little things, and then they embellish it. She did a little bit different here. It's not quite exactly what I did before, but it's pretty close. And it looks. This is a nice pen. This was a nice seller. Okay. Then there's another one. Look at this one here. See how they made that one? Now don't forget that this one was very thin. Very thin. Actually, right up in here was too thin. But it did make out well. It did work out okay. I worked on it, so it worked out okay. So there's a pin. This is a very nice pin. It's very thin, but yet they carved it out on top, so you can see exactly what they want to do, and it's not very thick. It's the same effect as that big one. You just have to make it look thick. Here's this one. Here's another one that she did. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's a pretty big pen, a little bit bigger than I usually like to do, but that's a beautiful design. Here's an angel she made. Don't forget these pins. These pins were made to hook sunglass holders on them. So people would pin them on their chest, and then they would take sunglasses, and then they would hook the sunglass to here, and it would hang. Okay, that's the reason most of my pins were made. But I can make them into pins. That's why they have these little loops on them. You don't have to do that. This is thin. It's thin, yet it's got a nice design on it. So that's a really, really good one. Another one, the Scoopy got broken, but here's another one with a heart. And this is a flat pin, pretty much. It's pretty flat. So the idea you need to do is to I don't know, that's a funny one. Is to do your own work, and you need to learn how to transition from just the page work, that's called 2-dimension, when you draw on a page, to a 3-dimension, which has thickness. It has thickness to it, okay? That might take a little bit of time for you to figure out, but when you figure it out, you have enough skill. I can tell by your work that you will, that you could do real good too. So anyway, that's all I had to say today.